Week 16 of the NFL, Chuck Esposito is here to break it all down. Sunset Station Casino Sportsbook Director. When you look at the games on Christmas this Sunday, the Ravens take on the Steelers and the Broncos travel to Kansas City. Do you think you'll see a little bit more action on these games because they fall on a holiday?
I think we will, Clement. I think anytime that you've got games by themselves and they're primetime games, you're always going to see huge action. But the fact that they're such big games, that you've got the AFC North rivalry between the Steelers and Ravens, and we know what's at stake for that game. We know that the Steelers win out and they win the division. The Ravens already have beaten them once. So it's a big game for both those two teams. And you look at the late game between the Chiefs and Broncos. These two teams played an epic primetime game a few weeks ago that Kansas City won in Denver. Now they're back in Kansas City. Kansas City has to be kicking themselves. So they've, in the last couple of weeks, they've lost home games to the Buccaneers and the Titans, or they'd probably be in the number 2 seed in the AFC. Funny thing, though, this number has dropped from 4.5 to 3.5, so some value maybe on the Broncos getting points here, but I suspect both games will be heavily bet on Christmas Day.
Where are you seeing the most action at this point on those two games?
That would be the one. The Steeler game has crept up a little bit from 5 to 5.5. Kind of a dead number, though. As we know, games don't fall on 5 usually. The other game hovering around 3 and 4 points, which are key numbers. Just a little bit of value there on the Broncos, a little bit of payback for them as well, and a much bigger game for them. And that number's dropped from 4.5 to 3.5, as I mentioned earlier. So pretty much one-sided action in favor of the Broncos so far. But again, I think you'll see that game, similar to some of the primetime game tonight, start to creep up a little bit more by kickoff.
Chuck, we appreciate your knowledge as always. Thanks for being with us here, and happy holidays to you.
Thanks, Clement. Thank you and all the listeners, and enjoy all the games this weekend. Thank you.